Have you ever found yourself wobbling on your feet or feeling a sudden unsteadiness that caught you by surprise? It's a quiet struggle many older women face, something we don't talk about enough, but it can change how we live day to day. I remember those moments all too well. For a long time, I thought my unsteady steps were just part of getting older, something I had to accept and live with. But deep down, I felt frustrated and a little scared. You're not alone in this, and I want you to know that I truly understand. Like many of you, I tried to ignore it, slipping on my favorite worn slippers, thinking I was being careful. Then came the near falls and those heart-stopping moments when I realized something had to change. The good news? There's a simple, gentle way to regain your balance and confidence, without complicated routines or expensive equipment. It's about small changes that make a big difference, things you can easily do at home. In this video, I'll share 6 surprising habits that may be undermining your stability, along with easy fixes that doctors recommend. These tips help me feel steady again and rediscover the freedom I thought I'd lost. You deserve to live well, to move with confidence, and to enjoy every step you take. So, tell me, have you noticed any moments of unsteadiness lately? I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 1. Wearing the wrong shoes. It's amazing how something as ordinary as our shoes can hold the power to change our day, our mood, and even our future. For years, I never thought twice about what I put on my feet. I'd reach for the same pair of faded slippers each morning, the ones with just a bit too much give in the heel, or I'd slip on those trusty old flats that had been with me through everything. Errands, Sunday picnics, and even my granddaughter's college graduation. They were familiar, comforting, and somehow made me feel like I was still my younger self, still in control. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Shoes age, and so do our feet. It happens so gradually that you don't even notice it at first. One day you're walking across your living room without a care in the world, and the next, you're clutching at the wall because your foot wobbled on a rug or you didn't quite catch the edge of a step. It's a jolt that leaves your heart racing, even if you don't fall. I remember a particularly humbling moment in my journey. It was a crisp autumn morning, and I was out tending to my rose bushes, wearing my favorite little slip-on shoes. The air smelled of leaves and distant rain, and for a minute, I lost myself in the colors and the feeling of the cool earth under my feet. I stepped back to admire my work, but my heel caught the edge of a loose stone, and suddenly I was flailing, arms windmilling, the world spinning for a split second. I didn't fall, thank goodness, but I crashed into the bush hard enough to leave a scratch on my hand and a bruise on my pride. Later that day, as I nursed my hand and thought about what could have happened, a wave of realization hit me. It wasn't just a one-off fluke. I'd been feeling more unsteady for weeks. The soles of my shoes were thin and slippery, and there was no real support for my ankles. My feet, once so reliable, had changed too. The arches weren't as strong, the padding under my heels felt less cushiony, and my toes had become sensitive to pressure. When I finally took a good look at those beloved old shoes, I saw what I'd been avoiding. The insoles were worn nearly flat, the edges frayed, and there was barely any tread left. That night, I did something I'd been putting off for too long. I sat down with my daughter and we talked about shoes. Not just any shoes, but the kind that supports older feet, the kind that protects you when your balance isn't quite what it used to be. She gently reminded me that style didn't have to disappear just because I needed something sturdier, and that there were options out there designed especially for women like me, women who still wanted to walk with confidence, dignity, and a little bit of flair. So, the next weekend, we made a day of it. We visited a local shoe store, the kind that takes its time measuring your feet, checking your gait, and recommending pairs based on actual needs, not just what's on sale or what's pretty in the window. The sales associate, a cheerful woman about my age, smiled and told me stories of her own shoe adventures. She measured my feet and pointed out that my size had changed over the years, something many older women don't realize. Our feet can spread or swell as we age, and what fits at 50 doesn't always fit at 70. Together, we found a pair that surprised me. They had a firm sole, a little extra padding in the heel, and ankle support that hugged but didn't squeeze. The bottoms were non-slip, with enough grip that I didn't feel like I was skating across polished floors. And, to my delight, they didn't look like something from a hospital gift shop. They were actually cute. There was a little flower embroidered on the side, a quiet wink to my gardening days. The difference, even on that first walk around the store, was extraordinary. My steps felt grounded and deliberate. I stood a little taller. That old fear, the whisper in the back of my mind that any step could end in disaster, began to fade. At home, I found myself moving more freely, less hesitant on the stairs, and more willing to take my dog out for a stroll or pop over to see a neighbor. It was as if the world had opened up again. Here's something I wish I'd understood sooner. Good shoes are not just a fashion choice or a minor comfort. For older women, they are a foundation for independence. When you choose shoes with the right support, you're investing in your safety, your freedom, and your ability to keep enjoying life's little pleasures, like dancing in the kitchen, running after grandkids, or simply walking without fear. But changing shoes is about more than just buying a new pair. It's about honoring your body and its needs as they are now, not as they once were. It's recognizing that every stage of life has its challenges, and sometimes the bravest thing you can do is adapt. For a while, I felt embarrassed, as if sturdy shoes meant admitting defeat, admitting I was getting old. But in truth, it's the opposite. Choosing the right shoes is a bold act of self-respect. I've met so many women at my local senior center who have their own shoe stories. One friend, Martha, held on to her ballet flats for years, until a single slip on the kitchen tile left her with a fractured wrist and a long, frustrating recovery. Another neighbor, Jean, resisted wearing sneakers because she thought they looked too sporty for her age. It took a heart-to-heart with her granddaughter to finally try a pair with proper support. Now, she's the first to suggest an afternoon walk around the park. If you're feeling stubborn about giving up your old favorites, I get it. Nostalgia is powerful, and sometimes, shoes are tied to memories we don't want to let go of. But I promise you, there are beautiful, comfortable options that will make every day feel more secure, and you won't have to sacrifice your sense of style. From Mary Janes to ankle boots, today's brands offer designs that honor both function and flair. Take a moment to look at your current shoes. Are the soles worn thin? Do you slide around on smooth floors? Do you feel tired or sore after even a short walk? These are your body's gentle hints and nudges to treat yourself with a little more care. It's never too late to make a change, and the peace of mind you'll gain is worth every penny. So, if you find yourself hesitating before stepping onto a rug, or if you're clinging to countertops as you cross the kitchen, consider starting fresh, with a pair of shoes that truly support you. It's a small step, but it can lead to a world of confidence, stability, and joy. And remember, you're not giving up your independence. You're reclaiming it, one steady step at a time. 2. Skipping strength exercises. When was the last time you thought about your muscles? Not just those big, showy ones you used to have in your arms or legs, but the quiet, hard-working muscles deep inside that keep you steady, help you stand tall, and catch you if you stumble. If you're like me, strength training wasn't something you ever really planned for in your later years. I grew up in an era when women didn't go to gyms or lift weights, and as I aged, the idea of working out sounded almost comical. Something reserved for young people in spandex or athletes training for marathons, not for someone who of her gray hair and gentle mornings. But aging has a way of humbling us, doesn't it? I used to think all the bending, lifting, and walking I did around the house and garden was plenty to keep me strong. I'd carry groceries in, kneel to plant bulbs, and even rearrange the living room furniture if I got the urge to redecorate. I felt busy, always moving, But I never paused to ask myself whether my muscles were truly being challenged or just existing. It started subtly. I'd wake up in the morning and notice it was a little harder to get out of bed. My legs felt sluggish, and I needed both hands to push myself up from the armchair. I brushed it off. Just a bad night's sleep, I told myself. Just a touch of stiffness from gardening yesterday. But it kept happening, and soon, simple things felt harder than they should. Reaching into the cupboard, standing on tiptoe, lifting a basket of laundry. Suddenly these tasks became tiny hills to climb. One moment that stands out in my memory came on a bright spring morning. I was out with a friend, walking her little terrier at the local park. The path was uneven in places, with dips and roots that seemed to pop up out of nowhere. As we chatted and strolled, my foot caught a rough spot. I stumbled, not badly, but enough to send a jolt through me. Instinctively, I reached for her arm to steady myself. She smiled kindly, but inside I felt a twinge of embarrassment. I wondered, if I had tripped just a bit harder, would I have been able to catch myself? Would my legs and arms have been strong enough to save me? That afternoon, as I sat on my porch sipping tea, I realized I'd quietly been losing something precious: strength. Not just the strength to lift or move heavy things, but the everyday resilience that lets us get up easily, reach for a glass on the top shelf, or take a long walk without feeling sore. It's the strength that gives us confidence, lets us laugh off a stumble, and keeps us independent. I started reading and listening to what doctors and therapists were saying about aging, and the message was clear. After age 50, we all start losing muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia, a gradual process, but one that sneaks up on you. If you don't actively challenge your muscles, they'll quietly shrink, and before you know it, you're struggling to do what once felt effortless. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. At first, I was overwhelmed. Did this mean hours at the gym? Weights? Machines? The whole idea made me feel old and out of place. But I found out something surprising. Strength training for older adults doesn't have to mean deadlifts or bench presses. It can be gentle, practical, and even enjoyable. I started small. Sitting in my favorite chair, I'd keep a pair of light hand weights on the table. Just 2 or 3 pounds each. During commercial breaks, while watching my shows, I'd do a few curls or overhead presses. Sometimes, I'd skip the weights altogether and use a couple of soup cans. Standing in the kitchen waiting for the kettle to boil, I'd practice gentle squats, holding the counter for support if I needed it. I learned a trick from my physical therapist: wall push-ups. You simply stand arm's length from the wall, press your hands flat against it, and gently lower and raise your body. It's easy, low impact, and you can do it in any room of the house. My favorite was the resistance band, a simple, stretchy band you can buy at any pharmacy. I'd loop it under my feet and pull up, feeling my biceps and shoulders engage. The bands are colorful and almost playful, and using them made me feel less like I was exercising, and more like I was just having a bit of fun. The results were not immediate, but after a couple of weeks, I noticed something. Getting up from the couch was smoother. My legs felt less wobbly, and my arms didn't tremble when I reached for the heavy pot on the stove. I even felt steadier going up and down the stairs, less likely to reach for the railing with both hands. The best part was what it did for my spirit. Strength is not just physical, it's a feeling. There's a quiet pride that comes from knowing your body can still do what you ask of it. It reminded me that I am still capable, still growing, and still in charge of my life. I stood taller, not just from better posture, but from a renewed sense of confidence. My family noticed too. My son remarked one Sunday, "You seem more energetic lately, Mom." And you know what? He was right. Of course, there were days when I didn't feel like doing anything. Some mornings, the aches and pains felt overwhelming, or my mood was just a little off. On those days, I reminded myself that even 5 minutes was enough. Consistency is more important than intensity. The goal isn't to look like an athlete, but to have the strength to live well, to walk safely, to pick up a grandchild, to carry a bag of groceries without fear. At my senior center, strength classes became the highlight of my week. Surrounded by friends, laughing as we tried out new moves, we became each other's cheerleaders. We celebrated every small victory, one more squat, a slightly heavier weight, an easier time rising from the floor. There was joy in moving together, in reclaiming strength as a community. If you've been avoiding strength exercises, thinking it's too late or too hard, I promise you, it's not. Every muscle fiber you wake up is a step toward greater freedom and less worry. You don't need a gym membership, fancy clothes, or expensive equipment. All you need is a little willingness to try, a bit of patience, and the belief that you are worth the effort. So tonight, before you go to bed, try this. Stand up from your chair a couple of times using only your legs, or do a few gentle bicep curls with a soup can. Notice how your body feels. It might seem simple, but these little actions add up, day by day, week by week. Over time, you'll find yourself moving with more assurance, ready to catch yourself if you stumble, able to reach a little higher, stand and a little taller. Don't let the slow loss of strength steal away your confidence. Claim it back, one small step at a time. You have more power within you than you realize. And every bit of strength you build is a gift to your future self. 3. Overlooking vision changes. It's funny how we take our eyes for granted, isn't it? For so many years, our vision is just something that happens. We open our eyes and the world comes pouring in. The golden glow of the morning sun, the faces of our loved ones, the pages of a favorite book, the vibrant colors of the garden outside the window. I always thought that if my vision ever changed, I'd know right away. After all, who could miss something as important as their eyesight slipping? But the truth is, the changes come slowly, quietly, in the background of life. At first, I didn't even notice. I'd squint a bit more at the crossword puzzle, or need a little extra light to see the labels on my spice jars. I thought it was nothing, just a part of getting older. Maybe I needed a new pair of readers, I told myself. Maybe I was just tired. But then, little things started to pile up. I found myself tripping over the edge of the rug in the hallway, or missing the first step when I walked down the porch at dusk. My confidence began to slip, too. Where once I would stride through the house with purpose, I started shuffling a bit, reaching for furniture to guide me. In the evenings, I avoided driving altogether, worried about the glare from headlights or the sudden surprise of a shadow darting across the road. There was one evening that changed everything. I got up in the middle of the night, careful not to wake my husband, and tiptoed through the dark to the bathroom. The hallway felt longer than usual, and when I turned the corner, my foot caught on the edge of a throw rug I'd walked over 1,000 times before. Suddenly, I was on the floor, my knee throbbing and my pride bruised. Lying there in the dark, I realized just how much I'd been ignoring the subtle changes in my sight. The next morning, my daughter visited and noticed the bruise on my knee. She asked what happened, and as I told her, she nodded knowingly. "Mom, when was the last time you had your eyes checked?" she asked. I laughed it off, but the truth was, it had been years, 4, maybe 5. I was so busy taking care of everyone else that I'd forgotten to take care of myself. That afternoon, I scheduled an eye appointment, half expecting the doctor to tell me everything was fine. Instead, he told me my prescription had changed, and that the glare at night, something I'd thought was just getting older, was something he could help with. I got new glasses, with lenses made especially to cut down on nighttime glare and a soft tint for indoor lighting. The difference was immediate. Suddenly, the world looked crisp again. Steps, curbs, the edge of the kitchen counter, they all popped back into focus. I noticed things I'd been missing, like the delicate pattern on my living room curtains, or the way the leaves shimmered in the sunlight outside my window. Most of all, I felt steady again. My confidence returned, and I moved with a new assurance I hadn't felt in years. But it wasn't just the glasses. I realized how much lighting matters as well. I went through my home and added a few extra lamps, especially in the hallway and near the stairs. I swapped out dim bulbs for brighter ones and put nightlights in every bathroom and along the route for my bedroom. These small changes made such a difference, especially on cloudy days or when the sun set early. My eyes no longer strained in the dark, and I stopped dreading those late-night trips for a glass of water. Vision is about so much more than seeing clearly. It's about knowing where your body is in space, about feeling confident and secure in every step you take. When your eyes aren't giving your brain enough information, your balance suffers. You move differently, slower, more carefully, maybe even anxiously. That anxiety can chip away at your independence before you even realize it. I talked to a few friends at my church group about what I'd been through. I was surprised at how many of them nodded along, sharing their own stories of close calls, missing the curb at the grocery store, bumping into the corner of a coffee table, or getting dizzy in low light. One friend, Carol, admitted she'd been cleaning her glasses with her sleeve for months and hadn't realized how scratched and cloudy they were. Another friend, June, realized she'd been skipping her regular checkups because she didn't want to admit that her vision was getting worse. We laughed about it, but underneath was a real sense of relief. Relief that we weren't alone and that something as simple as an eye appointment or a new light bulb could make such a huge difference. If you haven't had your vision checked lately, please, let my story be a gentle nudge. Don't wait for a fall, or for a close call that could have been much worse. Schedule that eye exam, clean your lenses, and pay attention to how you're seeing the world, especially at night or in unfamiliar places. It's not vain or selfish to take care of your eyes. It's a gift to yourself and everyone who loves you. And if you do need new glasses, don't settle for something that just does the job. There are so many beautiful options these days, frames that flatter your face and land lenses that adapt to your lifestyle. Don't be afraid to treat yourself to something that makes you smile when you look in the mirror. Remember, independence starts with the little things. Seeing the edge of a step, spotting a stray shoe on the floor, or reading the instructions on a new bottle of medicine. When you give your vision the attention it deserves, you're not just protecting your eyes. You're reclaiming your confidence, your joy, and your freedom to move through the world on your terms. So, let yourself see the world again. Notice the light pouring through your window, the colors of your favorite quilt, and the laughter in your grandchild's eyes. Every moment is brighter, every step is steadier, and every day feels a little more yours. Your story, and your vision, deserve to be seen in the best possible light. 4. Overlooking medication side effects. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's easy to forget how powerful a little pill can be. For so many of us, taking medicine is simply part of the daily routine, a quiet ritual, as ordinary as brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. I remember lining up my pill bottles next to the toaster each morning, a rainbow of tiny tablets promising health, comfort, or relief from aches that had crept up over the years. Each one seemed harmless, even helpful. But nobody warns you how much those tiny pills can change as you age, or how the side effects can sneak up and steal your balance when you least expect it. I didn't always read the fine print. Who has time? I trusted my doctor and the pharmacist. I'd pick up a new prescription, listen to the quick summary at the counter, and add it to my daily lineup without a second thought. For a while, everything was fine. I believed that if I just followed instructions, my body would cooperate. But bodies in their 60s and 70s have a way of surprising you. It started with small things. A moment of lightheadedness when I stood up too fast. A foggy feeling mid-afternoon that I brushed off as just being tired. There were days when the room seemed to shift under my feet, almost as if I'd had a glass of wine with lunch, though I hadn't touched a drop. I told myself I was probably just dehydrated, or maybe it was the weather. But the spells got more frequent, and one evening, after watching my favorite old movie, I stood up from the couch and the world tilted. I had to grab the edge of the coffee table just to stay upright. My heart thudded in my chest, and for the first time, I was truly scared. What if I had fallen? What if I'd been alone? That was the night I finally took a closer look at my medications. One by one, I read the labels and leaflets. May cause dizziness. May cause drowsiness. Use caution when operating machinery or driving. Suddenly, the warnings felt personal. Had I been ignoring my own body's signals? The next morning, I wrote down every prescription, every over-the-counter supplement, even the herbal teas I'd started drinking for my joints. I carried that list to my doctor's office, nerves fluttering as I waited for my appointment. I wasn't sure how my doctor would react. I worried she might think I was overreacting, or worse, that I was being a bother. But when I described what had been happening, the dizzy spells, the fogginess, the close calls, she listened carefully. She asked about how I was taking my pills, what time of day, whether I was eating with them, and how I felt afterward. It was the most thorough conversation I'd ever had about my medications, and for the first time, I realized how much things had changed since I first started taking them. Together, we went through my list. She explained that as we age, our bodies process medicine differently. Kidneys and liver don't filter quite as quickly, muscles hold water differently, and what worked at 50 might be far too strong by 70. And when you add in the fact that so many older adults take more than one medication, sometimes several, the risk of side effects multiplies in ways nobody talks about. That day, we made some changes. She lowered the dosage of my blood pressure medication and suggested splitting another pill between morning and evening instead of taking it all at once. She even suggested I try skipping a supplement that, it turned out, could interfere with the other pills. The difference was immediate. Within days, the dizzy spells all but disappeared. The brain fog lifted, and I felt like myself again. Mornings were brighter, and I didn't dread getting up from the sofa or walking down the hall. But perhaps most importantly, I learned the value of paying attention, not just to the doctor, but to my own body. Now, whenever I start a new medication, I make a note of how I feel in the days afterward. Any new symptom, a headache, a strange fatigue, a sense that something is off, goes into my notebook. And at every appointment, I bring that notebook and ask questions, no matter how small they might seem. My doctor once told me that the best patients are the ones who pay attention and speak up because nobody knows your body the way you do. I've also become an advocate for my friends. At our monthly bridge game, I bring up the topic, and you'd be amazed how many women nod along. One friend, Linda, told me how she kept falling asleep in the afternoons and thought she was just getting old, until she realized her new heart medication listed drowsiness as a side effect. Another friend, Betty, had a scare when her vision blurred after starting a different blood pressure pill. She had been afraid to bring it up, but after hearing my story, she called her doctor the next day. Turns out, a simple change to a different brand solved the problem. Something is empowering about taking control of your health. The world changes as we age, and so do our bodies. Medications that helped us years ago may need adjusting, or may not be right for us anymore. It's not about being difficult or distrusting your doctor. It's about working together, being proactive, and making sure that your medicines are helping you live your best life, not holding you back. I know how easy it is to let the routine of pill taking become automatic, but I urge you not to ignore the whispers your body sends. Dizziness, fogginess, weakness, even new aches and pains. These can all be signs that something in your medication routine needs adjusting. Don't be afraid to ask for a medication review at every checkup, and always bring a complete list, even those harmless vitamins or herbal teas. Sometimes, the answer is as simple as lowering a dose or changing the time of day you take a pill. Sometimes, it's about swapping one medicine for another. Sometimes, It's about letting go of something you no longer need. Every adjustment can bring more clarity, stability, and confidence into your days. So take a moment, right now, to look at your medications. If anything feels off or you've been having close calls, make that call to your doctor. You're not being a bother. You're taking care of yourself, and you deserve to feel steady and safe in every step you take. That little pill on your breakfast tray is powerful, but so are you, especially when you listen to what your body is telling you. 5. Grabbing furniture instead of using proper support. There's a certain comfort in being able to lean on something solid when your balance feels just a little off. For many of us, especially as the years add up, the furniture around the house becomes an unspoken safety net. We reach for the kitchen counter when standing up, slide a hand along the back of a sturdy chair when walking through the living room, or brace ourselves against the edge of the table while carrying a heavy basket of laundry. It feels natural, almost automatic, and honestly, it can be a lifesaver in moments of wobbly uncertainty. But here's something I've learned the hard way: relying on furniture for support can put you at greater risk. It's a kind of false security. Chairs aren't always where you need them, tables can have sharp edges, and counters don't move with you. There's a reason therapists and doctors emphasize using proper walking aids like canes or walkers instead of clinging to whatever is nearby. And yet, for many of us, admitting we need those aids feels like admitting defeat. I remember the day it finally hit me. I was carrying a full laundry basket from the kitchen to the living room. My arms were full, my mind was elsewhere, and my feet were moving out of rhythm. I didn't have a free hand to steady myself. Suddenly, I felt my balance slip. I stumbled forward, reaching desperately for the nearest object. It was a wooden side table with a sharp corner. I caught it just in time, but the jolt sent a shock through my wrist and left me shaken. That near fall was a wake-up call. I realized I'd been fooling myself. I had been proud to get around without a cane or walker, to keep my independence intact. But in truth, I'd been risking injury every time I grabbed at furniture that wasn't designed to hold my weight or help me stay steady. The truth is, that furniture is unpredictable. Chairs can slide on hardwood floors. Tables can tip if you catch them wrong. And sometimes, the piece of furniture you reach for is just too far away or simply isn't there when you need it most. You can't build a life of security on shifting grounds. That's when I started to reconsider the idea of using proper support tools. At first, I resisted. A cane felt like a symbol of weakness, a public announcement that I wasn't as capable as I once was. I worried about what others would think. Would friends see me differently? Would I feel less independent? But I soon learned that these fears were just stories I was telling myself. When I finally tried a cane, a lightweight one with a padded handle and a beautiful floral pattern, it felt like holding a piece of confidence in my hand. It wasn't a sign of surrender, it was a tool of empowerment. With the cane, I could move with more assurance. I walked taller, without constantly searching for something to lean on. I wasn't afraid of uneven sidewalks or slippery floors. And surprisingly, the cane became a part of my daily routine, almost like a trusted companion. My friends at the senior center saw the change, too. They admired my choice. Some even joked about getting their own fashionable walking sticks. The reality is that a cane or walker isn't about giving up independence. It's about maintaining it safely. There's a powerful lesson here about acceptance. Choosing to use a cane doesn't mean you're less capable or less strong. It means you're smart enough to use the right tools to keep living your life fully and confidently. It means you respect your body and want to protect it. I also discovered that using proper support devices reduces the risk of serious injuries. Falls are the leading cause of injury among older adults, and many happen when people lose balance and don't have the strength or the right support to catch themselves. Furniture might feel like a quick fix, but it can't replace the stability that a cane or walker provides. If you find yourself frequently reaching out to furniture when you're feeling unsteady, take it as a sign. It's time to explore options that can truly support you. There are so many stylish, lightweight canes and walkers available now that don't look medical or clunky. Some even have fun designs or features like built-in seats for resting when you need a break. I encourage you to visit a trusted medical supply store or talk to your doctor or physical therapist about what's best for you. Getting fitted properly can make all the difference. You'll learn how to use the device correctly, like holding the cane in the hand opposite your weaker leg or positioning a walker close to your body for maximum support. Using proper support also helps build confidence. When you know you have something reliable to lean on, you can relax and enjoy moving around more. You might even find yourself going out more often, visiting friends, or trying activities you'd stopped because you felt unsure. I still remember how it felt the first time I walked through a crowded room holding my cane. I was nervous but also proud. I realized that my cane wasn't just a tool, it was a statement that I was taking charge of my safety and well-being. So if you catch yourself wall walking or grabbing at tables, chairs, or counters whenever you feel unsteady, please take it as a gentle reminder. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to use aids designed to keep you safe. Your independence is priceless, and using the right support is a smart step to protect it. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. You deserve to walk through your days with confidence, steadiness, and peace of mind. Lean on the right support, not just whatever happens to be nearby. It might feel like a small change, but it can make a world of difference in your life. Remember, strength is not just about muscles. It's about knowing how to protect yourself and using the tools available. Accepting support is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. It means you're caring for yourself with the kindness and respect you deserve. Take that step today. Explore your options. Talk to your loved ones and healthcare providers. And know that you're never alone on this journey. Many women have been where you are and have found new freedom by using proper support. The right cane or walker could be your ticket to moving freely and safely for many more years to come. Embrace it. You are worth it. 6. Neglecting balance exercises. Balance is one of those things we rarely think about, until it starts slipping away. For most of my life, I took it for granted. Walking, standing, and even turning around in the kitchen felt automatic, like breathing. But as I got older, I began noticing subtle shifts. I'd catch myself hesitating on uneven sidewalks, or feel a tiny wobble stepping off a curb. At first, I brushed it off as nothing, a natural part of aging, I told myself. But deep down, I knew it was more than that. One day, after a routine grocery run, I was unloading bags into the kitchen when I suddenly felt off balance. My heart skipped a beat as I grasped at the counter to steady myself. That moment lingered in my mind longer than I expected. I realized that my balance wasn't what it used to be, and worse, I hadn't done much to maintain it. It wasn't until I attended a wellness class at the local senior center that the idea of balance exercises even crossed my mind. I'd always thought balance was something you just had, or you didn't. The instructor, a lively woman in her 70s, introduced us to simple movements. Standing on one foot, shifting weight from side to side, walking heel to toe in a straight line. At first, I felt silly. These moves seemed too easy, almost childlike. But I decided to give it a try. The exercises were more challenging than I expected. Standing on one foot required concentration, and shifting my weight made me realize just how weak my ankles had become. But the instructor encouraged us, reminding us that balance isn't fixed. It's a skill we can improve at any age. That idea sparked something in me. After a few weeks of practicing these exercises, just 5 or 10 minutes a day, I began to notice real changes. My posture improved. I was standing taller without the need to brace myself. My ankles felt stronger and more stable. The tiny hesitations when stepping off curbs started to disappear. I even caught myself dancing around the kitchen again, something I hadn't done in years. Balance exercises aren't about flashy moves or intense workouts. They're gentle, focused practices that teach your body how to stay steady and respond quickly when things shift unexpectedly. Our bodies remember how to balance. We just have to remind them. The beautiful thing is that it's never too late. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your body can learn to adapt and regain that confidence. I've come to think of these exercises as a form of self-care, like brushing your teeth or drinking enough water. Making balance a daily habit has given me a sense of security I hadn't realized I was missing. I don't dread walks or worry about uneven surfaces as much. Instead, I move with a quiet assurance, knowing I've taken steps to protect myself. If you're unsure where to start, there are plenty of resources available. YouTube videos designed for seniors, local community classes, or even a simple routine you can do at home. The key is consistency. Just a few minutes a day can build muscle memory and strengthen the systems your body relies on to keep you upright. Balance isn't just about preventing falls. It's about reclaiming freedom. Freedom to walk your dog, visit friends, go grocery shopping, or simply move through your home without fear. It's about living life fully and confidently. I encourage you to try it for yourself. Stand tall, shift your weight, and take that heel-to-toe walk down the hallway. It might feel awkward at first, but with time, those small movements will weave into your daily rhythm. You deserve to feel steady, sure, and strong at every age. Balance exercises are a gift you give yourself, a promise to stay active, independent, and joyful. Don't wait for a fall to make balance a priority. Start today, and watch how your confidence grows with every steady step you take. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to remind you just how important it is to listen to your body and honor the changes that come with time. Balance isn't something to take for granted. It's the foundation of your independence, your confidence, and your freedom to enjoy life's beautiful moments. I know it's not always easy to admit when we need a little help, whether that's choosing the right shoes, embracing strength exercises, getting your vision checked, paying attention to medication effects, using proper support, or practicing balance exercises regularly. But taking these steps isn't a sign of weakness. It's a powerful act of self-care and love. You deserve to walk through your days feeling steady and sure, to move with grace and confidence, and to live without the fear of falling. Remember, even small changes can create big differences. Each new habit you build, each step you take towards stronger balance and stability, brings you closer to the life you want. A life full of joy, connection, and freedom. I'd love to hear from you. What part of this video resonated most with you? What's one change you're ready to make to protect your balance and independence? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to take that first step, too. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips designed just for you. You deserve to live your best life, steady and strong. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.